All right, I'm on.
I'm also on.
I am also 2 on, 3 on, whatever.
Gentlemen, we're back.
Gentlemen.
Take it away.
Hey everybody, welcome to the pre-cast. This is a cast about preing. It's a cast about being before everything, whether you're pre-coming or preparing. It's all about the pre. Only about the pre.
Smooth jazz.
Did I miss a memo? Did we change
I
shit
kinda
to the
feel like-
precast? I don't know.
We're the
A little
pre-cast.
bit
Man.
of-
We're only about pre-coming. Not actually coming. We're like Mormons. We only soak.
I did not.
All right, fuck it.
We're
Welcome
done
back
with
to
this.
welcome back to season
He's
2
like, oh my
of
goodness.
of Peaked in High School podcast.
Oh my gosh.
I'm one of your hosts, JT, and I'm here alongside my 2 brothers in podcast arms, Luke and Andrew over there.
It's-
Who's,
Yeah, what up?
It's
doing
been
some
a
sus
while.
shit on that
It's
video
CBD
game.
oil,
I'm not
dog.
gonna say, but it's kind of sus. Well,
It's legal. It's
Anyways.
CBD oil. I'm just
What are
doing
you
it to
smoking
relax.
anyways? Is it smoke or vape? How do you
It's
define
vape.
that?
It's
vape. Okay.
So, I guess technically it's vaping, but it's like, it's just so. There's two main in the hemp plant. There's two main chemicals. Yes, there's THC,
Yes.
which is
it's
tetrahedron
a great start.
cannabinoids. I believe that's what it's called. I don't know. I'm not a fucking
gonna lie,
chemist.
It sounded fake. It sounded way
It is. I mean, science is fake. I mean, we all know this, right?
Get out of my face.
I mean, it's not real. I mean, like, come on.
Uh,
But like it's that's the stuff that's the hallucinogenic stuff that, like, you know, gets you high. And then there's another
Right.
compound that's just a straight cannabinoid. That's
cannabinoid.
it's
Sounds like
that's
Star
the
Wars villain.
medical stuff. So the medical stuff is what I'm doing, not like
Oh.
the THC stuff. Yeah, it's
Interesting.
like it's the stuff for like relaxing and like muscle
Neato.
recovery.
Neato.
You know,
I
not
think
like
I
I
sold
need it
those
because I'm not
pens
exercising.
at Walgreens when I worked there. Pretty sure I sold
Oh,
those
like
pens.
dab pens?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude, you probably did. Well, they're for tobacco, but like there's specifically ones for, I mean, like for carts for the weed.
Weird.
But you know,
Weird.
I don't smoke weed, so
Well, gentlemen, guys, it's been like, I think it's been 4 months since we've recorded a podcast. Is that right?
yeah, it's been like 4 months.
And a little bit of lore for those of you who are listening, or maybe listening. Who knows when this will go?
Yeah, probably.
but a little bit of lore. We actually recorded episode 4, but Andrew happened to screw up his mic connection, so there was no audio on his part. So this
Yep,
is
my
episode
bad.
4.5.
This is for the Redux.
Season
this
2.
is like season 2, part
I'll
1.
just call it season 2. If anybody wants to date this episode, in case this doesn't come out, and we'll just get it out of the way.
That's right.
Rip
You're right.
to,
We're
to
recording
the
on,
goat.
what is it, January
One of the
26th?
legends. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the day that'll go down
Oh, gee.
with one of the legends,
My
Kobe
gosh,
Bryant, passing this morning.
That was crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Was it this morning? Yeah, geez, that's crazy.
Can you
yeah.
believe that
Ooh.
even happened? A helicopter
Yeah.
crash. Like,
Yeah. I'm trying to think. So, do you ever well, so this is the thing that's kind of crazy is that the owner, so I'm a big soccer fan, as you guys know, but the owner
yeah.
of this team called Leicester City, who's I think in second place right now in the Premier League. They're
Oh.
that team that won, like, when we were in high school, we were like sophomores in high school. They won. It was like 1 to like 200 odds that they would win or something crazy like that.
sheesh.
Their owner and a couple of their exec team was flying in a helicopter after a game, which is like they were like
Oh, I think I
and
remember
they
this.
crashed, and it like
Yeah.
crashed in Leicester City, so everything was like on fucking fire.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, so like helicopters, man, are dangerous. I'll tell you what, they are dangerous.
Yeah, that it just seems like such a weird contraption. Like, I don't know. I just
Someone
they
described
weren't
it as
they built
stones
for
with wings.
maneuverability specifically. I don't know.
Right, and also like being able to. I don't know why this is the helicopter. Welcome to the helicopter
Yeah,
cast.
exactly.
We talk about helicopters and helicopter specs.
That's the only thing
You know
we
that
talk about
the spinny parts are my favorite.
Yeah, the non-engineering majors.
I mean, it's about the vertical landing and takeoff. It's about, you're right, the maneuverability is a big thing, but like, it's the whole, being able to just land and take off anytime. But yeah, I mean, it
Dude.
sucks, and it sucks that his daughter was on board too. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
that's so sad. Like,
Awful.
because like celebrities can be very controversial, and I don't don't follow the NBA, so I don't really know much about the personal history of Kobe Bryant, but like his daughter was like what, 14? Like that's the worst
It
part.
was
Like,
it was his 13-year-old daughter.
13, Jesus.
What was her name? Gianna, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Gianna.
think that's what her name was.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, they were on a way to one of her basketball games. So,
But to be fair, only rich people die in helicopters. So, just don't own
So
helicopters.
that's
How
a
does
spicy
that mean?
take.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's
That doesn't
it's a
make
big
it
take.
better. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
but like,
Anyways,
I feel like we should move off this
rest in
topic
peace,
as soon
Kobe
as possible.
Bryant.
But I do want to say that I just want to talk about something around it, is the impact and the waves that this has taken already today in the less than 2 hours is insane.
yeah, man.
And that just kind of goes to show you what we live in today and how it affects everyone, because I was just watching it and I saw that it's crazy how this information just spreads so fast and can affect not even like just basketball. I was just watching, I guess, who does Neymar play for?
Oh, he plays for PSG.
No.
The NBA.
PSG, yeah. So they were there.
Paris Saint-Germain.
I
Yeah.
guess they're
Pronounce that
playing right now.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
Neymar scored, and then for his celebration put up a 2-4 with his hands. So that kind of shows you just what
already,
impact
bro.
he had.
Well, he knew
And
Kobe
how
Bryant.
fast
Like, he
it's-
hung out with him.
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah. Really.
Just how big this impact is and how
Yeah.
fast it spreads. I mean, it's crazy.
Awful.
That's
But,
sad.
It's awful.
It's just sad
Anyways,
because I know people
rip
really
to
look
one
up
of the
to him.
greatest.
Yeah.
That's all I'm
yeah.
gonna stay on the topic,
Rest
and we
in
can
peace.
move on
And
to
him
some
and
goofs
him
and
the
gaffs.
4 other passengers in that helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was this morning. But to move on from that note, what's the deal with the Pro Bowl right now?
what is
Oh,
the
dude.
deal with the
What's
Pro Bowl,
happening
dog?
right now? It's
Let's
supposed to
talk-
happen today,
well-
right? Like
Well,
was
it
supposed-
is, but it's almost like they put up a. This is my problem with the Pro Bowl, and kind of my problem with ESPN right now.
Yeah.
So obviously Kobe passed away, and so they put a little thing up, and like it was kind of crazy to see everybody just kind of come to a halt and just look at that big screen, because it was going on as like the
as
news
the
was
game was
breaking.
going on. Yeah.
So like it seems like, I don't know, the Pro Bowl's already stupid as hell. Anyways, it's so
Yeah,
dumb.
I never understood I get like,
Um,
MVPs, we want all the better players to play with one another. It's okay,
I feel like the other All-Star games, like NHL All-Star game,
Yeah.
like that happened last night,
oh yeah,
really cool.
Totally. Mhm.
Because 3-on-3, there's an incentive. They win a prize of $1 million, and the
Jesus.
MVP gets a truck.
What? What?
Yeah,
He gets
Yeah.
a what?
he gets a truck. You get a car if you're the All-Star MVP
That's
For
clever.
NBA or for NHL?
for
That's very
NHL.
clever.
Oh, okay. I was like to say,
So there's incentives, and players
think
play hard,
LeBron
and you
wants a
also have the
truck, no
skills
offense.
competition.
I don't think LeBron could fit. in
He's
the
not. He doesn't. None of the guys I know of the tentative amount I follow the NBA. I don't think any of those guys seem like truck guys to me.
We're talking about this is the NHL though, right? You
But,
said
yeah, the NHL.
Yeah, the NHL. You know, so
All of
you-
those guys want trucks.
I didn't even know that happened last night.
Yeah,
I didn't
and
even
so
know that.
you also have the day before is the skills competition, which is pretty cool, because
Hmm.
you know you have some things like hardest shot, fastest skater, and then some of the other cool stuff is like you get shootouts, like each goalie goes up against like all the best players and sees how many he can save in a row.
Oh, that's kind
so
of
I mean, like
That's interesting.
there's like incentives to play and like do stuff
The
like
Pro
that.
Bowl is just like let's put all of the best
Let's-
players
yeah,
in the
it's-
NFL by stat.
Their season's
and-
over.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and it also happens at the end. The season's over. They don't care. They lost.
Right.
Like
I
if
don't
you're,
feel like
if
there's
you're in the
no
Super Bowl,
incentive
you
to
ain't
play.
playing. There's no incentive.
And you
But
don't
anyways,
want to get hurt either, which is kind of the same thing with the
mm.
NBA, the MLB All-Star Game too. Like no one is
Yeah,
gonna truck each other or
yeah.
do some crazy thing because like it doesn't matter. Like
Mm.
there's no it's more interesting for me to watch the All-American game than it is to watch the Pro Bowl. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
say that as someone who just stopped watching the Pro Bowl because I've watched the Pro Bowl 3 years
Try
in a
that
row.
again one more time. No, go ahead.
Yeah,
You
let me
say that
just
one
try
more
that
time.
one more time.
Yeah, Trey, you got the what? Watch the what
It-
one more time?
the Pro Bowl
Oh,
3 times in a
okay.
the Pro Bowl. Yeah,
Yes, of course.
yeah. Sorry, I was having trouble talking because I just,
Yeah.
dude, I don't know, man.
What is it?
It's something.
It's 21-24 AFC right now. I don't.
is it?
I
I
feel
don't
like I
know.
don't
I'm
care.
not. I'm not watching.
What even?
Anyways,
does it
what I-
matter?
the point I was
fuck
going to
even is
say-
the AFC? I don't know. What does AFC stand for?
That's half
American
the
Football
league,
Conference.
dude.
American
That's half,
Football
Alien
Conference.
Football.
that's
Alien
that's
foot
half of the teams in the league,
com.
dog.
Alien
Or-
Footcom. That's what it stands for.
Get. This was a PG podcast. And you said
Oh
that.
my god.
It's never been a PG
You're
podcast.
right. You're right. You're right.
I mean,
I don't want it to be a PG
So any-
podcast.
so what my point was at
Oh,
the
yeah,
beginning of
that's
this
right. You
is
were gonna
like
say something.
I just think the
7
Pro Bowl's
minutes ago.
stupid. And then they
Yeah.
were like, "Hey, let's just start interviewing random ass players what they thought of
Yeah,
Kobe
dude.
on the sideline."
Oh, what a bad.
And I was
move.
like, is this like
No, that's a bad
I don't know.
move.
like he
on.
they interviewed Drew Brees and it was a really bad interview. Like he was
Oh,
like
yeah.
he's like, did you know him? And he was like, he obviously he was like, yeah, I met him once. Like he clearly had like he had
Didn't have any
no
personal
like personal
connection to him.
experience.
Right.
But he's on the spot and he has to say some shit. And I'm like, I feel bad for the guy kind of because he's like, I didn't really know him. I mean, yeah, he's one of the greatest, but like, I don't really know
don't
him
have anything
outside
to
of it.
say
So I just
about
think
him.
they don't because the
Right.
Pro Bowl's already so stupid anyways that
Yeah.
like they were like, we have to tie this in. And I think it was just really bad.
It's so weird that like
Anyways.
they try to do this thing where they I don't know, people just pretend like every single athlete knows each other, and they obviously don't. Like that's just not something that happens within that kind of community. But like they always like act like, oh, since this is so important right now, let's go talk to every single other person that's like relatively on the same scale in terms of fame, and just ask them what they thought about them, because obviously they're the same amount of influence on the athletic community, so they must have some experience with them. And it's like, why are you trying to make this more like it's the idea of making it personal just makes it seem superficial. I hate it. It's just stupid.
Yeah, and I think there's certain people you can definitely interview to have that have better opinion or have a better, thought process on this thing. And athletes are not. I mean, this is a stereotype, but athletes are not known to be like the best on the spot interview people.
That's true. That's
But-
true. Just look at
but, like-
Kawhi Leonard. Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I love
He's
Kawhi
so-
Leonard
yeah,
because of
well,
that.
he's
Though.
funny. Yeah, he's like genuine, which is the cool thing about him. But he's so bad in front of a camera. He's gotten way
Right.
better. His laugh has evolved from being a meme to like a real person laugh. But,
yeah.
yeah, I know.
But like, I kind of like that though because it's real. Like you said, like it's real. I would rather have someone who's like really legit like that.
Yeah.
Than have like
Fine.
some really because like that's kind of what I don't like about a lot of sports these days is there's no like there is zero personality in sports anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like and like I remember having this argument with some of my family members a while ago. I think it was Sweden. It was like the youth hockey, like not youth, but like it was like the young international hockey teams playing
Okay,
each other.
sure.
I can't remember what.
Sure.
I don't know what age limit it was, but
Oh.
it was Sweden versus I think USA or Russia,
Mm.
and Sweden lost like kind of bitterly, and Sweden and like the captain of the Sweden. I think it was Sweden. I don't know. Who cares? The that's not the point. The point is not the
Okay, yeah.
nationality.
Yeah.
But
Two teams
he
are playing
he
against
took
each other.
his he took his silver medal off and he just threw it into this crowd because he's like, screw it. He's like, I don't want to be second.
Oh, the medal.
The medal,
I know what
he's
you're
like,
saying. Yeah,
and
yeah.
someone was like, if you're not first, you're last. Which I was like, hell yeah,
Ooh.
because like
Ooh.
that's the thing. Like, personally, I would never do something of that nature because I would just like to have a medal. I'm one of those people. I'm just like, oh shit, I won something.
Have either of you guys seen 1917 yet?
I
No,
have.
you have?
Yeah.
You haven't
Yes.
yet? Okay,
Oh my
never mind.
God.
You said
Oh
well,
my
what
God,
you just
it's-
said reminded me of it. I don't want to talk about it if Andrew
Mhm.
hasn't seen it, but It was just
Yeah,
there
no.
was a connection to what you were saying about the map.
Yeah,
But,
Mhm.
I get what you're
yeah,
putting
JT
down
and
there.
I and the
I
people in
get you.
me
I
have
got you.
watched it, listening to this, will understand.
Anyways,
But you'll figure it out when you see it. Uh,
hmm
I-
speaking of 1917, how are we feeling about Oscar noms?
Do the dead know what time it is?
I'm doing quite well. Quiz me later.
Do the dead know what time it is?
Just to get away from sports, today's not a very good
yeah,
sports
bad day
day.
for sports.
If you'd ask me,
Let me pull up the list real quick. We should go through the list and
yeah.
talk about what we want.
I have a first thing. When Adam Sandler 2 hours beforehand said that if he didn't get a nomination for Uncut Gems, he'll make the worst movie ever,
Oh boy.
aka Bedtime Stories 2,
Oh
which,
my
by the way,
God.
I'm very much okay with because Bedtime Stories is a fucking phenomenal movie. But he would make, if he didn't get a nomination, he would make the worst movie he's made yet.
Yeah.
And of course, the nominations come out, and Uncut Gems is nowhere to be found, like anywhere.
I think
I
they
don't think
might
he got a
have.
single
I
nomination.
thought they had one nomination for editing. I have it pulled up right here. I'll find it. Give me a second. Yeah, well, I think it's crazy that uh Adam Sandler wasn't nominated for that. I just like it's so apparent to me that his performance in that film is so unlike anything else that he's done. And critics have been like, yeah, well, we thought about it, but
Mhm.
his voice is just too, Adam Sandler. You
Right.
can't really disconnect himself from what he acts like. And it's like that doesn't define his performance. He's got a very distinct voice, but
He
so
can
does Tom
act.
Hanks. And like,
Mhm.
granted, I don't really like Tom Hanks as an actor. That's just my opinion. But like, it doesn't change the fact that he can play varying roles just because he sounds similar in them because he's got a distinct voice. I think that's one of the biggest snubs this year, Uncut Gems. That and The Lighthouse. Oh my God. The
Dude, The
Lighthouse is
Lighthouse
nowhere to be
Yes,
found.
Lighthouse.
and Little Women. Well, Little Women
Oh
didn't get Best
yeah.
Picture, but like she didn't get
Yeah,
Greta
it's
Gerwig
nominated
didn't
for
get
Best
Best
Picture,
Director, which I thought
not
was
for
kind of
director.
unfortunate because
Who's the
very good.
who's the girl from Us who got snubbed?
Oh,
Which
Lupita
I
Oh,
Nyong'o.
also
I think I
yeah,
said that
Yeah,
wrong.
she
Lupita
killed it.
Puta? I can't remember her surname. Yeah, she was
Nyong'o,
really
I
good.
believe.
Yeah, Nyong'o.
Don't be mad
I
at
don't know
me.
how
I
to
don't
say
know how
her
to
last
pronounce
name.
it, man.
Yeah, but she's a fantastic actress. I didn't think Us was her best performance, but I was very impressed with the fact that she played two different people, basically. That was really
Mhm.
cool. And I would much rather have. I'm looking at the list right now, and for lead actress, like if I were to take one of those off, I'd take off Scarlett Johansson from Marriage Story and
I
put
would
Lupita.
disagree. I just watched
Did
I
you really?
watched Marriage
Have we
Story.
all seen
I
Marriage
thought
Story?
have we all seen Marriage Story?
I
I
have
don't
I
know.
not. I don't really want to.
Dang it! Oh, it's just really sad. It's really
Yeah,
good though.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
really
just
well
not.
made.
It's really good. I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah,
After that,
yeah,
I was like, eh.
yeah.
I mean, she does really well. I feel like I can sort of agree
I
with you
would
on that.
replace her with Rita.
Um,
But yeah. Okay,
Well,
but
with
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
so let's just go down the list. Let's try to.
Yeah.
Okay, Best
Starting from
Pictures.
Best Picture. Are you on
was-
Variety?
I'm on CNBC, but
LOL.
because I just looked
Best
at the
Picture.
first thing. But so what is that? Ford, Ferrari, Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time, Parasite.
I've seen
And
all of those except for Little Women, which I meant to see last
I've not seen
weekend, but I
Jojo
didn't get to
Rabbit,
it.
or I started Ford versus Ferrari, but I didn't finish it, and I haven't seen
Here's my
Marriage Story.
take. Here's my take on the Best Picture category this year. I think this is the first time that I've seen most of the Best Picture movies that have come out in the year before the Oscars have come out. And I think everything on here makes sense in terms of its like existence on the list.
Hmm.
But there are movies that came out this year that I think are like I would much rather see or much more expect to be on that list. Like I would expect Uncut Gems and The Lighthouse to be on this list, but neither of
Mhm.
those are there. And I'd probably, if I had to switch out movies that I have seen on this list with those two, I'd probably take out Jojo Rabbit and I'd take out Ford v Ferrari. Jojo Rabbit was funny, but I don't think it's best picture worthy. It's very like it's
Mhm.
a beautiful film to look at. It's shot really well, and the script is solid. But I thought it was fairly mediocre in terms of a movie. It was a comedy. It was funny. It had a point to it. So,
Mhm.
but Ford v Ferrari was really good, and I tend to like dad movies sometimes, and people are joking that this is the best dad movie ever made, and I
Yeah,
would
dude.
agree it's
Now
really
that you
good.
said that,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you're right.
And I think,
It's like the
but
Paul
I think
McCartney solo album of movies.
it really is. But I think the only reason I really liked that movie was because of the last 30 to 40 minutes. And
Mhm.
that's like really the best part of the film. And the rest of it is kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of bland leading up to it. I would have replaced those two. But
Yeah.
who do you guys think is going to win? And who would you like to win that's on this list? And who do you think is going to win?
Ooh, JT, you go first, because
I'll go
I don't want to
first.
Go
answer.
ahead, go ahead.
I mean, I want to, but I don't know
Let's
how.
see.
Hmm.
I think I'm gonna stand by this. As I already said earlier, when coming out of 1917, I think that should win. I just think I thought it was the most creative and my favorite of the year personally.
Oh,
So
okay.
I think it should win, and I would like to see it win. The only other one that I really think could win is I think Parasite could win.
Hmm.
See, I
I think Parasite,
don't think it can.
but
win,
I mean the Oscar. I know. I would like to see it win as well.
Yeah.
I don't think it can.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go with you on this other thing. One, if I could take off, and this is gonna
Oh,
be
yeah, go ahead,
a spicy take, but I did not like The Irishman.
that is a spicy
I just
take.
didn't like it.
I saw The Irishman in theaters,
I didn't enjoy it.
and I told everybody to watch
Oh yeah,
it.
with all the boomers,
Yeah,
right?
oh my God. It
You
was
went with all the boomers.
so
Back to
I
boomers,
went to
anyways.
this movie theater that's in the middle of nowhere here, and it's me, and then everybody else in the theater is over 50. Every single other person in the theater is over 50. And it's a 3.5 hour movie, and every 5 minutes somebody's saying, "How long is it gonna be?" But they all seem to like it a lot. I thought it
Wait,
was
were
good.
people literally out loud saying how much longer is this?
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, they were old. They were
Wow.
really old. Being a
I
22-year-old kid,
Hate
I had
old people.
I had people lean over to me and they were like, "It's funny. I would not think that this like story would be appealing to people of your age." And I was like,
Oh my Jesus.
okay,
Dude, they
sure.
talk about JFK getting assassinated and how
I
the
know.
mob did.
Well,
How
I guess
not?
it's because they lived through it. So like for them, it's
That's
like, yeah, I
true,
want to
yeah.
see this sort of, I want to see this play out. It's very interesting to me because I know what they're talking about. So I guess that's really what those kinds of people. Yeah, I know. I've talked to a lot more people recently that have told me they did not like The Irishman or they didn't finish it. And I think it's one of those movies that like, this is gonna sound super pretentious, but I think it's one of those movies that will only be appealing to people who like to watch movies as more than like a hobby. You know what I mean? Just because it is so long, and really what it is about Martin Scorsese's like maturity as a filmmaker. It's not really a crowd pleaser. Like Goodfellas can be a crowd pleaser. It's very like it's go go go. You know what I mean? But The Irishman is so slow and it's 3.5 hours long. So I can see where people like it.
Yeah.
I think
Andrew,
you're
have you-
right.
I thought it was slow. I think that's what it
What
was
would
for
you
me.
replace on it?
And
What would you put in
Um,
instead?
what would I put on there instead?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I should pull up my.
I don't know what I'd put on there instead.
Hmm.
I mean, I just out of all of them, I haven't seen, obviously the only ones I haven't seen. I have not seen Jojo Rabbit, Little Women, and Ford v Ferrari.
Yeah, you don't need to see any of it.
So
But I haven't seen Little
Okay.
Women, so I actually can't say anything.
yeah. So I mean, I just it was one of those movies, and of course, I also got boomered by my grandma when I told her I didn't like it. She said, and I quote, "Well, your generation can't really sit through a 3-hour movie, anyways."
That's
And I
so
said,
odd.
"Okay,
That's so dumb.
that's why."
Tell
That's
me
why.
about
That's why I
Endgame.
sat.
Tell
That's
me
why I
about
sat
Star
through
Wars.
Endgame.
Yeah, dude, I
Star
just
Wars
Exactly,
rewatched
that's what I
Endgame
said.
for
So
no
stupid.
reason, and I don't even
And
like
I
the
told her
movie.
earlier today, I was like earlier that day, I told her I was like,
I don't
yeah, I
even
just
like
watched
the movie.
Rogue One and Episode 4 back to back.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like six. That's like
One of those
almost
was
like
ones
five
that
and
you
a half
guys
hours.
liked first, right? Yeah. Andrew, did you have you decided
yeah.
yet? I can go if
Okay.
you haven't.
So no, I've decided. So I want
So-
Parasite
so-
to win
Uh-huh.
personally because Parasite is out of all the movies I've seen on that list and out of all of the bits that I've seen and all that, it's just the most well put together movie. It's just put together very well.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
it's the theming is great, the writing is great, the direction is incredible, the levels, it's just everything. Everything works. It's one of my favorite movies of all time right now.
Really?
Honestly.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
really good. I just really like Bong Joon-ho. I really like his
Yeah.
work. And I really want to get more into his filmography. But I just think it's so... I mean, there's so many bits. I remember I rewatched the part where they go up to... For anybody who's not seen this movie, spoiler, but whatever. Watch the freaking movie. It's just a small part.
That's JT. JT, you haven't seen Parasite, right?
No, I
Oh,
have.
you have?
Oh,
Okay,
dude.
okay.
No, I have,
Okay,
yeah.
go ahead.
It's...
Go ahead.
But like the bit where the
Spoiler
brother and
alert.
sister go up and go, and she goes, wait a second. She goes, what's her name? Samantha. She goes like, Samantha from Illinois.
Yeah, she's got the
your
song
cousin's
to remember
friend.
who she's
Da,
supposed to
yeah.
be.
And she does
Yeah.
it with her fingers
Uh-huh.
and stuff like that. And that
Yeah.
and like the scene, the two shots that like get me are when the guy who
cool.
lives under the house, the first shot where he walks up the stairs and he looks at the kid and it's just his
Yeah.
nose up,
Yeah.
and then they
What a
repeat that
scary
shot
looking
with his
guy.
blood. Yeah,
Mhm.
which is like he's all the actors in that are phenomenal, and I
Yeah,
don't think
they
any
won
of them
Best
really got
Cast.
nominated, and
They
that's
won Best
garbage.
Cast at the SAG Awards.
They
They won
could, they
Best Cast
should
at the
have,
SAG
because
Awards.
they all
They were incredible.
that the guy who plays the dad is in a lot of stuff.
Yes.
and
Oh my
the
God,
guy's,
he was so good.
he's
He was
so
my
good.
favorite in that
He's
film.
in Snowpiercer too.
Is he really? I haven't seen Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer is great. Snowpiercer's a little bit more on the nose about its classist theme or classism themes.
That's what I hear. Yeah, but that's like main. That's streamlined.
Yeah,
into
it's
the
an
plot
American
as well.
movie, and it's an American movie with Chris Evans and John Hurt and and Octavia Spencer and all these
And Kate Blanchett.
Clay Blanchett's in it.
Kate Blanchett. Yeah.
Someone else, some older guy's in it too, who plays Wilson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the guy who plays the Man in Black in
Oh yeah, him.
Westworld. Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but yeah.
But Parasite, you want to win? What's one
For
that you
sure.
think is going to win? Which one do you think he is
Now,
going to win?
it's gonna be 1917, but I could definitely see them give it to Joker, just cause.
Really?
Yeah, I think they would just do it just because.
Huh.
Because like
Well,
that's
what's-
kind of what the Academy just does. They're just like,
Yeah.
yeah, like let's be honest, Green Book should never have won that. It was
agree.
last
I
year or 2
agree.
years ago.
Yeah. What
And-
a robbery.
What a robbery! And I don't think The Shape of Water should have won Best Picture either.
No, not at all.
And it was.
Let me pull up.
I like The Shape
when-
of Water. That's the thing. Like I like the movie.
I don't know. When Green Book came out last year,
Mm-hmm.
well, it was the 2019 ones. The Favorite and Roma were both nominated for Best Picture. Neither
Right,
of them.
and both of those
Green
are great.
Book won over The Favorite and Roma. Give me a
And
break.
Roma is like
And-
one of my favorite movies too. That's a great movie. Now
and
that
when
I'm
The
thinking
Shape of
about
Water
it, I
came
really
out,
like Roma.
when The Shape of Water came out, Dunkirk and Lady Bird were nominated for Best Picture. Like
And-
both of those years are
Yeah.
such snubs.
Mhm.
But it's interesting that you say Joker could win because I see, like, I was floored when I heard that the Joker had 11 Oscar nominations.
Oh, I was
and
not
the
surprised at
closest-
all.
I was surprised just because of the negative press that came
Mm.
along with its release and what most actors were saying outside of the people who were involved with it, and then also the fact that the only other two that have like a lot of Oscar nominations are The Irishman and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. They both
Mm-hmm.
have 10. And The Irishman even has 2 of those nominations in the same category, supporting actor, for Al Pacino and Joe Pesci. And the
Man,
Joker
Joe
has
Pesci
more
is so
nominations
awesome.
than both of them. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
see that, and I do remember like there was so much negative press for no reason.
Yeah, it was stupid. It was stupid.
I agree.
There's a
And-
lot of criticism for the Joker nowadays from some pretty outspoken critics that say that it's like just totally base and people have it wrong and it's not as deep as it says it is.
Mhm.
And I get the idea and I can see the reasoning behind it, but I do think the film has value
Right.
and more than those people are willing to give it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that you say it would win. I don't think so at all.
See, I think it's gonna win because so many people. See, I did not like the Joker. I watched it. I thought it was. I kind of am more aligned with those critics
JC's
you're
face.
talking about. JC,
He goes,
JC,
"What?
um,
Really? Okay.
or
That's all right. You didn't like it. You didn't
No,
like it.
it's
That's okay.
and I kind of align more with those critics that say it's not as deep as everyone thinks it
Yeah.
is, and I kind of agree.
Hmm.
I agree with that, and I think all. But
Interesting.
my problem with it too is also that it's not. It doesn't have a clear direction, and that its
Hmm.
critiques are kind of really bland or kind of nebulous.
Like
Where
they don't really say anything,
yeah,
but
it's
they
yeah.
get around to the topic and say that it exists or something like
Right.
that.
It's more like, look at this thing. Isn't it crazy that, like, someone was like, oh, like, this is a metaphor for the rejection of the lower class by the upper class. And
Yes,
it's like,
somewhat, but
somewhat, but it's also kind of like, there's a logic inherent in the rejection of the lower class in this movie.
mm.
If we're going to take that allegory thing,
Well, one thing that I
because
think that
the Joker straight up is a crazy person who kills people, and I
yeah,
mean, like, a great example is when he meets Arthur Wayne, or not Arthur Wayne, Thomas Wayne
Bruce Wayne,
in the
Thomas
bathroom,
Wayne, yeah,
and Thomas Wayne is like, "Who the fuck are you?" Or when he
yeah,
sees Bruce Wayne and he tries, and everyone's like, "Yo, chill out," because he's just some weird guy. Like,
yeah. I
I
thought
I
one,
get it.
I get the conversation on like the fact that the commentary that it tries to make is very bland. It
Hmm.
doesn't really reach any depth. I understand that, but when I watch the movie, I don't see the purpose of the movie to flesh out that kind of commentary. I
Mm-hmm.
see it as exploring specifically an individual within the context of that commentary.
Mm-hmm.
Like the movie is so much more about Joaquin Phoenix's character Arthur Fleck and his personal experience in the world than it is about any sort of commentary that he lives within. It happens around him, but I think it's intentional that it's not explored just so that you only really see what he's seeing and you only get a chance to explore those types of topics through his eyes and his experiences
Right.
rather than fleshing out the ideas. And maybe that's
Mm-hmm.
explaining it away, but that's how I see it, and I think that's why I like it a lot.
Yeah. See,
I really
yeah.
like it. I think it got worse the third. I saw it three times in the
Uh-huh.
theater with different people. But I think it got worse the third time. The first time I thought it was really good. The second time I was blown away, and I was like, "Oh my God, so much better than I thought."
Mhm.
And the third time I think was just one too many. So I ended up I do 5 stars, and I did four, and then the next one I did was 4.5, and I brought it back down to four. I hope.
Yeah.
That's
And
interesting that you think it would win.
see, it's because I think it's kind of a safer bet than people make it out to be, because
Oh,
it
that's
is
interesting.
because so many people really did like it, and that's, again, like I said, like, this is, I didn't really preface this, but, like, if you like the movie, hey, good for you, like, that's cool.
You don't have
Like,
to say that.
I know, but, like, I don't want to come out like that. I'm like, this movie
Yeah,
sucks, because there was
yeah.
parts of it that I really liked. I mean, namely Joaquin's performance was really
Mm.
good. I thought
If
the
you
performance
had
of the mom
to,
was good
if
too, but
yeah, if you had to take off one on this list, which one would it be? Joker? If you had to take off and replace with a different movie,
personally, it would be Joker, yeah, and I would put, like,
just put on there.
Midsummer or, like, Us. I really liked Midsummer a lot.
Yeah, did you? I haven't watched it yet. I still
I have
posted
not
out.
seen
Oh,
Midsummer yet.
dude, it's good.
I'm going to. I promise you. Have you
It's
seen The
so good.
Lighthouse?
No, I'm waiting
No.
for it to
Okay.
come out on
I
streaming, which it
figure
will soon.
when you see that movie, I have it on. Yeah, I figure when you see that movie, you'll probably want that on. I feel like
Mhm.
if I
Yeah, probably.
here's
That's the
my
thing.
thing. Yeah, here's my thing about Best Picture this year is I think that I really would like Parasite to win.
Hmm.
I would. I agree with you. I think that movie's incredible. It was my number one film of the year before I saw Uncut Gems. And just today, thinking about it, hearing that Parasite was playing at a theater like 5 minutes away, as like a re-release or something, I was like, oh my God, I want to go see that. And I realized maybe in seeing Uncut Gems, in the environment I had, maybe I looked at it in perspective that kind of shadowed Parasite in the quality comparison, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to rethink about. I'm looking
Hmm.
at my 2019 ranked list, and it's one and two, Uncut Gems and Parasite, but I might flip those. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I really like Parasite to win, and if you haven't seen it,
Oh, well,
I
yeah.
really encourage you to watch it because it's phenomenal.
It
And
is a movie that will, like, change your perspective on
yeah,
how you can do movies, how you can make
uh-huh.
movies,
And
and
and also though the ability for a movie of international standing to do well in America or in a
oh,
foreign country.
completely,
It's
yeah.
like there's no barrier between, like, there's some cultural differences that are
Hmm.
expressed in the movie, but it's so not inaccessible. It's so accessible
Yeah.
to American audiences. It's really cool. But I really want that to win. If
Hmm.
I had to guess which one is going to win, I'd have to guess 1917, if only because it won the Golden Globe. Um, but just for the fact of, like, playing devil's advocate for, like, the idea that just because it won the Golden Globe, it won't win the Oscar.
Hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think 1917 will win, but I would not be surprised if either Marriage Story or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood won. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, if only because it's Tarantino. It's his ninth film, and I think they want to give him something just in case the last one's not good. And this one
Hmm.
is like, oh my gosh, it's like second to Hollywood. I mean, come on. The whole
Yeah, that's
movie
the
is
thing. They
him
love
like
I
that.
jerking
mean,
him
I
off.
did.
I mean, come
Oh,
on.
I do have a story about
Oh
Once
yeah, go
Upon a
ahead.
Time.
Go ahead.
So my parents just recently came back from Hawaii,
Okay.
and I get a call after they come back, and they were like, "So you've seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good." And so I said that, and it sparked something in my parents, and we had a 35-minute
Oh
discussion
God.
about how I could have possibly liked that movie.
Why?
they
Was
they
it too
they
long for
say,
them?
well, no, they just watched it, and my dad said, and I quote, he literally told me, he's like, "Why the fuck did I just watch Brad Pitt make mac and cheese and feed his dog for goddamn like 15 minutes, and then I watched him just sit on top of a roof and fix a fucking TV satellite? What the fuck am I watching?"
that's
And I was
the-
like, "Dad,
Yeah.
that's not the point. The point of the movie is that they're best friends, and like he like struggles and does all this odd jobs and lives this
Yeah,
totally different
it's the
life than the other guy."
expression of
But he's like,
dichotomy.
and he's like, "Why the fuck would I watch that shit?" I'm like, all right,
See,
sorry.
this is funny that, like, we talked earlier about how boomers are like, you can't spend 3 hours watching a slow movie, and then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood comes out, and the same people are like,
Well,
it's
he was,
boring.
yeah.
And you're like, give me a break.
He also just said, like, he said the part that he was like, "Yeah, it just didn't have a plot either, which was so dumb." And I'm like, well,
It did.
I mean,
It just
it did.
took
It's
place
just
over like
it's
a
a
day.
different, yeah. It's just
So it's not that it's
it's
not
a
full of
different
depth.
telling of it.
Right.
But anyways,
Also, as
I
a-
had to combat them on that
Yeah.
and defend myself for uh, 40 minutes.
hilarious.
So
I can
You're
get why
saying-
I
people
thought that
don't
was
like
funny.
it. I liked it, but I get why. I actually kind of
Yeah.
I disagree and I agree with the criticism. Like, yes, it's not a super exciting movie until like the very end when it gets like the most exciting thing ever. Like because that
Yeah,
Vanilla
yeah.
Fudge song is playing, and it's the Manson family, and it's all the flamethrower.
When he clicks his tongue or whatever,
Yeah,
like,
we whistle.
and the
Yeah.
dog goes after him. Oh
Oh,
my
that's so
gosh.
cool. You know, it
Such
like
a
pops
good
off.
scene.
Yeah.
I love this movie because it succeeds without being a Tarantino clone itself. You know, it doesn't feed
Yeah.
into all of
Yeah.
those different traits that a normal Tarantino movie would have, which is very interesting to see from him. And it's still like really high quality. And the production design, I swear to God, I was like, did they travel back in time and film
Mhm.
this? Because it, like, the streets of LA look like the time period. Is like there's nothing. It was really,
Yeah, I
enjoyed it.
agree.
I've only seen it the one time
Yeah, I've seen it twice.
Hmm.
I think you're right where it's like an American Graffiti or like
Yeah.
Dazed and Confused where it's like just a picture of the time and everything. But I think also too people, and I guess this comes back to something I said in like the second or third episode of this podcast is
About a
people
year
just
ago,
about a
3
year
years
ago, yeah. People like don't really read or don't really like
Uh-huh,
engage
uh-huh.
in their entertainment or their art they consume.
Yeah, they just want it to be given to them. And they
Right.
don't have to think about it.
and this is not a critique of anybody. Again, this is not like me trying to say like, oh, you just don't get it, because like I hate that, because like people say that about Joker, and I'm like, no, I mean, like, but yeah, like, no, like, it's not about that. But like there's a book called I mean, like, I did a bunch of modernist literature for my my undergrad here, and some of that stuff is so dumb. Like, but it's
Yeah.
like regarded as not dumb, but it's like the same shit. Like, Portrait of an Artist of a Young Man is just, as a young man, is just this little kid who's just trying to be an artist, running around doing stuff. And like there's a whole chapter where he's just like, I'm looking at this girl and she's wading in the water and she looks
Yeah,
like a bird.
you could easily look at that and say that's super boring.
Right.
And like, why am I wasting
Hmm.
30 pages listening or reading about this stupid
Right.
thing that doesn't advance the plot? There's so much
Exactly.
more to it than that.
Right. And
That's I would
it's
characterize Once Upon a Time in Hollywood like
yeah. And sometimes it's just about seeing it. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's
that.
just about like I think that's something that Tarantino really I think does or tries to do is he tries to really like I think he does try to stretch himself sometimes and tries to do those things. I think that's the thing. Like he wanted to capture a time period, and I think he wanted just to have a day in a life movie and make it interesting and all that because that's just something he never did before. I think it's the same deal with Inglourious Bastards where he's like, what if I made he's like I think he wanted to do a Nazi movie, a movie about Nazis in the World War II and everything.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
wanted to do a spy movie and everything. But that first scene is one of the best scenes in freaking movie history, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. I
And
would
it's
agree.
just
well, okay,
him.
maybe not in movie history.
Maybe not
but
movie
yeah,
history,
I
but
know
it's
what you're
it's
saying.
at least in modern times. It's so good.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but that is my favorite Tarantino film.
Yeah, dude, it's one of my
That's
favorites.
Best Picture in a nutshell. I would say
Mhm.
yeah. Other than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I would also not be surprised if Marriage Story won.
Yeah.
Just because it's one of those films that has good commentary. It's well made.
Mhm.
It's relevant, and it's hard for people to be angry about just because
It's a crowd pleaser.
I think. Well, I don't know if it's a crowd pleaser, but I think it very equally uh, dissects the issue from both sides, and it doesn't really paint one or the other as a villain. And I think that happens uh, not too often. And I just think,
Mhm.
and it's a very well made movie. There's really no criticism on it
Yeah.
in terms of like whether or not you agree with one character or not. It doesn't really but yeah, that's Best Picture category. If there's a movie that's not on there that you guys should see, it's
It's Uncut Gems
Lighthouse.
or The Lighthouse.
Well, yeah, the Uncut Gems as well.
Hmm.
Lighthouse, I think, is a really good movie. It's not my type of movie. It's like questionable
Yeah.
the quality of the craft. So I think Best Picture is just I think it's stacked.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
it's
if there was one word, I think stacked
Yeah.
is definitely a good word to put on it because there's just a lot of things on there that
Mm-hmm.
they all bring something a little different too.
Right.
It's not like
Mm.
it's a lot of the same. Every different one. I mean,
Mhm.
from length to just like different like types.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of crazy how that's like kind of like also like it's weird how there's like a
like
superhero villain sort of movie
Yeah,
in
that's
Best
super
Picture
cool.
this year,
You know what
which is kind of
surprises
crazy.
me though is Hollywood likes to do this thing where they give creators like a nomination as its own reward for achievement, you know? And the fact, okay, I know it's continuing, but the fact that Endgame wasn't at least nominated for Best Picture, just as like a nod to the whole series, because 10 years of movies, that's massive. I think that was the
Yeah.
21st one in that series too, and they accomplished a lot. And Anthony and Joe Russo were a big part of it. I'm surprised they didn't get director or Best Picture for that. I wouldn't expect it to win either of those, but I just think it's very interesting that they didn't consider it. Um, Given that, I mean, Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, which is arguably one of the best. I mean, that's a really objectively good film, and it won every single nomination that it was given. But it was also a nod to the whole series, because I mean, in a large opinion of fans, it's not the best of the three. You know what I'm saying? But it was a nod.
Return of the King, you mean?
And even
Or
still,
Endgame.
yeah, Return of the King. Return of the King. But even still, like Black Panther was nominated for Best Picture,
Right.
which I get the social commentary behind that. I don't agree with nominating a film for that reason for Best Picture based upon the qualifications of a Best Picture film. But the fact that that was nominated for Best Picture and Endgame was not is just very surprising to me. I don't get that. I'm like kind of done with Marvel now. I don't
Me
think I'll
too.
be watching
Yeah.
anything from them ever again. Or
I
at
just
least not
think Black
recently.
Widow just doesn't look
No, it looks bad.
very exciting to
It
me.
looks
It just
like-
looks like
you
a
know,
Marvel
It
movie.
looks, yeah, it
And
looks
I'm
way
like,
too
I've
big.
watched 21
Her-
of them.
The best of her
Yeah,
character.
that's how I
the best
feel.
of her character was at the beginning of the first Avengers movie when she's in the attic or whatever. and they're interrogating her while she's tied to a chair. And that's like her small scale espionage stuff. And I thought that would be really interesting to see. And then the trailer comes out and it's like they're falling from the sky and there are like giant satellites and they're at Antarctica so that they can have a giant like car race. And it's like, what the heck is this? Like, why'd you make this character so much bigger than she was supposed to be? It doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know.
It's one of those things too, and I feel similarly about Black Panther, is that it's not that it's not a bad direction to take it in, to do it as like an action Need for Speed-esque movie, but like really it should be like an espionage movie, right? For Black Widow, but for Black Panther it should be like, I want Black Panther to be something similar. I want it to be gritty as hell, because I think the ideas that were behind it, like the idea of an ethno state and like and you know, closed door policies versus not, and all that stuff, and you know, how do you lead your people?
The rebellion war in the country itself too.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Black Panther's introduced in Civil War, I was so excited for Black Panther to come out, because I was like, okay,
too.
he's like fists and elbows, you know, kind of superhero. He's on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
He's got no superpowers really, unless you read the lore or something.
Well, he's got a suit.
He's just got a bulletproof suit, which is super cool, and he's all about like hand-to-hand combat.
Mm-hmm.
And then you watch like Black Panther comes out, and it's all about him jumping super high in the air, and he's got this suit that can repel bad guys, so he can fight giant hordes of CGI enemies instead of actually taking the time to choreograph really well done fight sequences where they're doing hand-to-hand combat like he would. And it's like, it just kind of ruins the whole idea of the character when it was introduced. And it was super exciting when he was introduced, because it's something new. It's not like a Iron Man where you've got CGI flying battles and bullets. And then all of a sudden they're like, no,
it's just
he's
Gundam.
got a kinetic energy field. And you're like, God dang it. And everything is green screen. And they took all the CGI artists and put them on Infinity War. Infinity War. Am I saying that right?
Infinity War,
yeah. They took all the CGI artists and put them on that team. So the movie looks bad. Like, Black Panther looks bad.
It doesn't look
good. You watch
good.
that movie and like, don't tell me the green screen or the CGI looks good, because you're a liar. And like, it just, they put it out I think they put it out at the wrong time. Yeah, because based upon the team that they needed for the bigger movie that was to come out 2 months later. And I also think that they did the character injustice by making it about superpowers and about CGI fights. It was so dumb. And also, they achieve all the things that it should have been in Winter Soldier. They achieve all of those qualities between Captain America and Bucky. And when I think if Anthony and Joe Russo had their hands on Black Panther, it would have been such a better movie.
Right. And I think also too, like there's a lot of good in Black Panther too. Like I think the costuming was fucking awesome. I think the production design was really cool, and like the hair and the makeup. I think a lot of and like I read some background, because I am fascinated by the African continent. I mean, I'm fascinated by politics as a, it's kind of my thing with the newspaper here. But Africa and South America are like my projects, I guess. Like that's where my like really like to look at. And a lot of the characters, like especially the council, their clothing and their hairstyles and things like that reflect different African ethnicities and cultures in in that area. And I know like the Wakandan language is based off of something, and
the production design is based on well versed research. Like it's very well supported. But the execution of the film is so...
I know, yeah. And it could have been so much better. I don't know. I just...
Yeah.
And also, too,
and now we're on a Marvel rant, and I feel bad, because I just said I was done with Marvel, and maybe we should tone it down a bit.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
We've gotten all the opinions out. Do you guys want to take a break for a little bit?
Yeah, we can take a break.
Okay, cool. Keep recording.
All describe the same thing, a faceless, red-eyed freak who seemed to have a message to tell. But what was this message?
On the side of Kurdistan, but the civilization may be in the twilight zone. There's a shadow line between the side of Kurdistan and the side of Eurasian.
Do not introduce the monk. Can you hear it?
Then everyone else is a phony too. And I feel that you have to be a certain bit of a showman world in order to get ahead.
Can you do some ASMR?
Please,
Okay.
please, yeah.
Hi, welcome to
Bro,
the.
let me accompany you.
Okay.
Um,
Hi, welcome to the ASMR hour. Here we will be experiencing ASMR alcoholism. Let's just get it started, huh? I love a good IPA. I am 40 years old, and I still talk to 18-year-olds at hardcore shows.
I know you see
The
somehow
world
the world will
me
change for
and
me
be so
and
wonderful.
be so wonderful.
Oh, I have a story about Drake Bell that I need to tell, actually, real quick. So
Wait, you have a story about Drake? Okay, go ahead.
It's just a real quick
Welcome
story.
Back, welcome back to the
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
This isn't the beginning of the episode. This is the middle of the episode because we decided we need to take a little break because we had to pee. But we
Yeah,
just
in
got
our
finished
butts.
talking about the Oscar nominations, which basically just means we talked about Best Picture for 20 minutes and then also ranted about Marvel, which we'll never talk about ever again because none of us will ever see those movies ever
that
again.
won't happen.
All right, Andrew's got a story about Drake.
So there's
Do we want to finish Oscars and then go to Drake Bell, or what do we want to?
no,
You wanna wait?
it's
You
Drake
wanna
Bell's
do
like
that?
2 seconds. Okay, so
Okay. 2 seconds
Okay.
with Drake Bell, and then we'll go back to the Oscars.
So where I live, there's this local punk joint that that has like hip hop bands and punk bands play. So like if you know like Modern Baseball plays there sometime. They used to play there.
Yeah,
like bands like that. It's really chill
like
spot.
Bogarts or something.
What?
Like Bogarts or something.
It's sort of like Bogarts, but it's called the Grog Shop. It's like real small. It's more of like a club actually. There's a club underneath
cool.
it that's really cool.
Yeah.
That is whatever. Their bouncers suck, but that's a whole other story. But Drake Bell played that venue, which is funny because it's like real fucking grungy, and everyone from my fucking small liberal arts college went there and watched him perform, including this girl that's fucking nuts that I love to death. She's like the best. She's like the nicest, sweetest girl, but she's so crazy, and she's just a party animal. And she like met Drake Bell and was like hanging out with him. Because she can just do that. She has like this ability to just talk to people. And then like when she left, she's like, "Hey Drake Bell, can you just sign my boobs?" And he was like, "Hell yeah, dude." And then he signed her boobs. And there's like that's like her Tinder profile. She's like, I got like
really funny,
because I think I found her on Tinder or something.
That's actually really funny.
It's really funny. But yeah,
cool.
It's cool shit. But yeah, anyways, Oscar noms. Let's start with best leading actress.
Let's go down the list. Yeah, actor and actress. Let's go down the list. Say really quickly who you think will win, and then who you want to win, whether or not they're nominated.
Oh.
Okay, lead actor, we'll go JT, Andrew, me. JT, go.
Joaquin.
And, okay, so you want Joaquin
Easy.
to win. And
Joaquin's just gonna
he's
win.
Gonna win? Is there anybody that you think
He's just gonna win.
should have been nominated?
Adam Sandler.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I think Adam Sandler should have been, but I think Joaquin just got it wrapped up anyways.
Fair enough. Right.
I don't know if I didn't see Two Popes, so I don't really know that. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, he was good. I mean, I don't know if I'd have to watch it again because I mean, it was a pretty long time ago. But anyways,
That's it for
I just think Joaquin has it because he's just the man right now. I guess. I mean.
Fair enough. Andrew,
agree or disagree with what you want on Joker, but I just think Joaquin just wins.
There you go.
I don't know.
agree.
Andrew, who do you think? You agree? You think
I agree. I think
Joaquin's
Joaquin is going to win it. I kind of want Joaquin to win it because I think he deserves it for sure. I think he did a great job. I don't think Leo's going to win it. I don't think Jonathan Pryce is going to win it, and I don't think Adam Driver is going to win it. However, and I don't think Antonio Banderas is going to win it either. I literally can only see Joaquin winning this, but
Interesting.
I would like Adam Sandler to at least have been nominated. But I think Antonio Banderas did a really good job. Of what I've heard, he did a really good, and what I've seen, he did a great job on Pain and Glory. And I would like a foreign movie to win more stuff because it would look better for the Oscars, honestly.
Interesting.
Because Bong Joon-ho said the Oscars is too local.
Yeah,
and I was
would
like,
agree.
Big
it's
vibes.
Definitely America. Yeah. Okay, so Lead actor for
Big
me,
vibes.
I think that they're gonna give it to Antonio Banderas. But I wouldn't be surprised if Joaquin won. And on the list that's up there, yeah, obviously we all agree. I think Joaquin Phoenix should win it. Adam Driver was really good in Marriage Story. I don't know if it's his best performance though.
Hmm.
If there were people that are not nominated on this list that I wish were nominated, it would be yes, Adam Sandler, and yes, I think he should have won if he was nominated. But also Robert Pattinson, goddamn, should have been nominated for lead actor for The Lighthouse. He's incredible, and I think he's got that stigma
Mm-hmm.
of being Twilight guy
Hmm. I agree.
still, even though he's been in a couple movies. And I think when he comes out and does Tenet with Christopher Nolan this year, that'll finally wade away, and he'll finally be able to be seen as the good actor that he is. But I cannot tell you, I like between that and Good Time, he's just one of the best to me. I think he's on my top 5 list of actors. But yeah, those are the people I think should have been nominated. Adam Sandler should have won, but Joaquin Phoenix is probably going to get it. But I think Antonio Banderas has a chance. I think they might choose him.
I think also to preface this too, I think Kang Ho's song or Song Kang Ho, I don't know what order. I think it's Song Kang Ho from Parasite
Yeah,
should have been
the
nominated
guy
for
who plays the
sure.
dad.
And the guy who played Kiwoo, what's his name?
No idea.
Lee Sun Kun.
Okay.
Which
Yeah, they were really good.
or I think that's his name, Lee Sun
They were
Kun. Yeah.
fantastic
Which
actors.
I'm sure I did not pronounce any of those names right, but I tried.
That's all right.
Um,
Lead actress, JT.
So the only one I've seen
Oh yeah,
is Scarlett Johansson.
sure.
I mean, I don't know if I can really talk about this one.
Yeah.
There's someone that should have been nominated. The
Lupita.
lady from Us.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Should-
Lupita Nyong'o. Yeah.
Yeah, her. I think she should have been nominated. I just can't really talk on this subject because I don't think Scarlett Johansson. She was good. I feel like if that's the best performance by someone this year,
you've seen,
I mean, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
I guess.
sure.
I mean, I don't know.
Mm.
I can't really talk on this because I just haven't seen any of these other movies.
Yeah, that's fair. Andrew, what about you?
I also agree. I think Scarlett Johansson's going to win it because she's Scarlett Johansson. I think out of this group, Saoirse,
I think it's Saoirse.
Saoirse Ronan
Yeah, I think it's Saoirse.
could win. I think she should win. She's very good. Cynthia. I don't think anybody saw Harriet. I don't know.
I no, I don't think anybody did either.
I wanted to, but I just was like, I think
I don't know
Park
if I had any
So-dam
interest.
again
Oh, yeah.
from Parasite should have been nominated because she freaking killed it.
Yeah, is that the daughter?
That's the daughter. Yeah, Park So-dam.
Yeah, the sister. She was awesome.
She's also got a great name, Park So-dam. I mean, obviously it's because it's in an English thing, so it's like so
Yeah,
damn.
yeah.
But like,
Yeah,
it's
kind of
just it works. It works. But yeah, she should win.
For me, I disagree with Scarlett Johansson completely. I don't think she was good in Marriage Story. That's just my personal opinion. I haven't seen Judy, but Renee Zellweger is getting a lot of press for her performance in that movie, and I wouldn't be surprised if she won it. I think biopics get a lot of lead actor actresses Oscars, and I think Judy's one of those that Hollywood really enjoys, and I hear her performance is really good. If there were people that weren't nominated that I'd want to be nominated, I think not Awkwafina, but the woman who plays her mother in The Farewell.
Yeah.
I don't know her name.
I think Awkwafina could be nominated.
I think she was good, but
was
if I had
good.
to pick one from that movie, I would pick the woman who played her mother. Which I can't find her name.
Yeah, that movie
but-
just really hit home for me personally. I just like
Yeah,
I
such a
know
great
like
film.
I
The
might
Farewell.
the farewell. It just really hit home for me. I don't know, man.
Yeah, but I can see Renee Zellweger winning it. And if I could pick, I would pick Mother from The Farewell. All right, supporting actor, JT.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time. I don't know if it was just the character, I just like his character in it. I didn't like The Irishman. I mean,
Do you think
think
Brad Pitt's gonna win, or is that just who you want to win?
I think I want him, and I think he can win.
And anybody else that you saw
I
this
don't
year
know.
that you'd want as supporting actor?
I don't
Okay.
know. Maybe Adam Driver
Mm.
in Star Wars for just the hand thing when he grabs the lightsaber, and then when they're all around him, he just does the hand thing and then goes to town. Maybe.
That
The
was
hand
good
thing is
acting
tight.
right there.
I agree.
It-
Best part of that
it's tight,
movie.
man. And you put that. Have you guys seen? Have you guys? We'll talk about Star Wars later. I'm sure
yeah.
it'll come
Oh,
out.
it will
but
come up.
it just
And
just
we're
for the
gonna
hand
blame that on
thing
the microphone.
alone.
We- it has to
This is
come
gonna
up.
be
For the
bad.
hand thing
We gotta
alone.
get past this. Andrew, supporting actor.
Oh, me? Oh,
Yeah.
so in my heart of hearts, I want Joe Pesci. I mean, I think Al Pacino and Joe
Really?
Pesci deserve it. I want Joe Pesci to
Joe
win
fucking
so
Pesci.
badly because Joe Pesci is the funniest fucking guy in
He's
my
just
life.
a beautiful man.
He's just a great
He's a
guy.
man.
And like when
Just
he
like
won
the
last time, he was
grandfather
like,
you want.
"Yeah, fuck it, whatever, who cares?" Like it's great. I love that attitude. But also
it's
too,
cool.
like he did a great job. Do you know also he helped find the like he created the Four Seasons, like the band. He helped find them. Yeah.
I heard about that.
Joe Pesci's a cool guy,
Um,
but I think Brad Pitt deserves it too.
Anybody do you think should have been nominated?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think this is a decent list. There's nothing off the top of my dome that maybe Lakeith Straightfield
Off
from
my
Uncut Gems,
dome.
but like
Okay. Yeah, he was really
Lakeith
good.
was
in that
good.
movie.
Kevin Garnett should win. Yeah. Yo, KG, I got something to show you. Pulls out an Oscar.
Yo, KG. Hey,
KG,
KG,
baby.
baby.
You KG? Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into my turn.
Okay.
Because now I got three things to talk about. Okay. So who do I think is gonna win it out of that list? I think Tom Hanks is gonna win it. I think Tom Hanks will win it. If not, it'll be Joe Pesci. I would like to see out of that list. I'd like to see Brad Pitt win, but I'll say this. I didn't say this during lead actor because I totally forgot. One of my favorites of the year is Ad Astra, and I think it totally went under the radar. And Brad Pitt, I think, delivers his best performance ever in Ad Astra. So if there was another lead actor that I would want to be nominated, at least would be Brad Pitt for that movie. But in terms of supporting actors that I wish were nominated, Jonathan Majors is in The Last Black Man in San Francisco. He's incredible. He plays the best friend of the main character. But also, somehow, this movie also went totally under the radar. Honey Boy, directed by Alma Harrell, it's the semi-autobiographical film about Shia LaBeouf as a child actor who's like emotionally tormented by his father. And Shia LaBeouf plays his own father, and he's incredible. He's incredible. So if there was a supporting actor that I'd want to win that isn't nominated on this list, it'd be Shia LaBeouf. That man needs way more recognition for what he does.
Yeah, dude.
That's another movie I would definitely recommend if you haven't seen. Absolutely.
I mean, did you hear him freestyle on The Breakfast Club? That was crazy.
Yes, I did.
That was
well, that
awesome.
and then also Sway in the Morning.
That's The Breakfast Club.
when he freestyled
Oh wait, no,
Sway.
I'm dumb. Sorry, no, Sway in the Morning. I'm
Sway.
sorry, I'm
Five
dumb.
Fingers of Death.
It was Sway in the
Yeah,
Morning.
Yeah. Fair.
Whatever. What's the difference at this point?
Yeah. Supporting actress JT. JT.
Oh,
We'll have to bleep that out. JT,
a little
supporting
bleep.
actress.
We got to figure out what the
It's
bleep
okay.
is
Oh, I can
for
do
this
the bleep
episode.
button.
Anyways,
I got it.
Okay.
I get the bleep. Dude, I've been meaning to use the bleep
Once
button.
again, I've only seen one movie on here,
Oh yeah.
and that's Marriage Story,
Okay.
and I didn't like Laura Dern in
don't
that
like
movie
Laura
anyway,
Dern at
so
all,
like
so-
I don't have an opinion on this.
Fair enough.
I don't like her,
Laura
and I
Dern
don't
at
like her
all.
in that movie.
Yeah, she's awful in The Last Jedi too.
Same thing with Kathy Bates. Not gonna lie.
Oh my
You
God,
don't
is she
like her? You don't
Holdo?
like her? Yeah, she's Admiral Holdo. I know, exactly.
Okay,
Oh.
okay,
Andrew, what do
okay.
you think for
Yeah.
Kathy Bates should not win because Kathy Bates just played a lesser version
Kathy
of
Bates.
all of her other characters. Yeah, which is just
Exactly.
I'm an old Southern woman who has weird opinions sometimes, which is like all of her characters. And I like
Who do you-
Kathy Bates. Don't get me wrong.
Oh really?
Yeah, she's
I
alright.
don't.
I think Florence
I think she's
Pugh.
annoying to watch.
Pugh.
Pugh.
Is it Pugh?
Pugh.
Oh, Pugh.
Pugh.
I was
Florence
Pugh.
Pugh.
I only read it. I've never heard her name spoken. I've only read it. Florence Pugh
Yeah.
should win it. I love Florence Pugh. She's the best. Why is she dating
You
Zach
liked her
Braff?
in
That's
Midsummer.
weird.
You liked her in Midsummer.
I liked her in Midsummer. I liked her in Little Women too. Dude, Little Women was great. Little Women is no one is.
I have to
I don't
see
feel
it.
like people are really talking about it as much as they should be.
Well, it's like the fourth time it's been made, right?
Yeah, but it's good. It's really good
Yeah,
though.
but it's got that Star is Born thing going on for me, where it's been nominated and made like 4 times.
True. Yeah.
This again. Interesting. Florence Pugh. If
I
I had to
Margot
pick-
Robbie's not going to be
let's
winning
see.
it.
I don't like, honest to God, I haven't seen Little Women or Bombshell or Richard Jewell.
Mhm.
I don't like
Oh, I
Kathy
got.
Bates. I don't like Laura Dern. I didn't like Scarlett Johansson. I don't like Scarlett Johansson in general. She was fine in Jojo Rabbit, but the supporting actress I feel like is one of those categories that unfortunately sometimes is just like a hodgepodge of people that they just figured did
Mm-hmm.
fine. Florence Pugh, I can see winning it for Little Women
Mm-hmm.
just because of the context. I don't know about Margot Robbie. If there was a woman that I think should have been nominated for supporting actress but wasn't,
The mom from Parasite.
again, yeah, well, okay, the sister from Parasite or the mom from The Farewell. I think I said her for
The mom
lead
should be the
actress.
farewell
That
for
would
the.
be
Yeah, yeah.
that
No,
would,
I agree with you.
yeah, okay, yeah. So let me rephrase. Lead actress, I would have Aquafina. Supporting actress, I
Mm-hmm.
would have the mother. Yeah, the mother from The Farewell is who I'd like to see.
I mean,
in
I'm just gonna
support.
keep saying it. Parasite is good.
I know it's
It's
the
hard
best.
not for me to be
The more
like,
that I
this is
think
really
about it
good.
over Uncut Gems, I think it's my favorite of the year now. I think I
Mm,
have to change it, but I have to go see it again.
yeah.
Okay, do we want to keep going down this list, or do you want to do director and
I think. I mean, it doesn't
let's
matter
just
to
do
me.
director and call it a day because the rest of it is fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who cares? But
Um,
I mean, honestly.
yeah, the rest of it's like whatever. Let's
Alright.
just do director.
Wait, what's
and,
Klaus? Wait, hold on.
Well, oh yeah, Klaus.
Oh, Klaus. Oh, I
That
thought it
was
was.
that
Christmas movie.
Netflix
I thought it
movie.
was gonna be.
Christmas
I thought it
movie.
was Claus, like Santa Claus, for a second. I was like,
Yeah, no, it is. It is. It's called Klaus because it's about Santa Claus. It's about Claus. Klaus.
is it really? I'm not. I've never seen
Yeah,
it.
it's on Netflix.
I'm gonna look this up.
But anyways, okay, best director.
Um,
What do you think, JC?
I think.
There's some
Well,
powerhouses on there this year.
see, there. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as kind of almost as like just Best Picture. It depends on what you like the most, and
Yeah.
the movie I like the most this year is
Sam
1917.
Mendes is director.
But I
Oh,
will
shit,
not.
Klaus
I
is
will,
actually about
it
Santa
was, It was
Claus.
very good.
That's what I said.
What did you
I
think
thought it was about some guy named Klaus.
Right.
It's a
Klaus,
German
who
movie.
ends up being Santa Claus. Yeah, I know. I watched it with my family over Christmas. It was stupid.
Oh.
It's not a good movie. It's just like uninspiring. I don't know. It's stupid. But you think Sam Mendes is gonna win, JT, for 1917?
Yeah, or Parasite.
Okay, Bong Joon-ho.
Same thing. I think.
Yeah.
I think it's the same. I think both of them are very
Yeah.
good. If Quentin Tarantino doesn't win, or I mean, Once Upon a Time doesn't win for best
Picture.
best picture, I could see them just giving it to him.
He won it. He
Just
won it at the
because,
Golden
like-
Globes, right? Yeah,
I think he
Quentin
won
Tarantino-
screenplay,
I thought
right?
he won Best Director at the Golden Globes. I can't remember.
Did
I'd
he?
have to
I
look
don't
it up.
remember. I think maybe he won both. I don't know. If he doesn't win that, if he like didn't win Best Picture, probably. I
think
mean,
he's gonna win.
directing. I could. You could also make a case for Once Upon a
Make a
Time.
case.
Todd
our,
Todd Phillips is just. I mean, it's joking.
Yeah,
I-
yeah.
I don't know how much it was
Yeah.
him and how much is like just
watch
Joaquin.
it.
And then I just don't like Irishman.
Fair
So
enough.
no.
Andrew, what do you think? I'm gonna guess Parasite. Is that right?
Yes,
Bong
but it's
Joon-ho to
not because. Okay, I want him to win, obviously, because he deserves it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is the thing about this directing and Best Picture thing. Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Are you clipping your nails right now?
No, I just have my. I need something to do with my
You're just
hands
fiddling
while I'm
with your
talking.
nails?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need a
Go ahead
fidget
with,
spinner,
Bong
really.
Joon-ho.
So
Oh no.
Bong Joon-ho
Go ahead.
should win it because he's a great director and he made a great movie. And he wrote mind you, he wrote and directed a movie that was very good.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
the shit, right? But this is
Yeah.
the thing, right? They're not gonna give it Best Picture because no one saw it. There not a lot of people saw it because it was foreign, or they don't want they don't really want a foreign picture. I don't think they want a foreign picture to win. I think they would rather have
Interesting.
an American movie win. Because I mean,
I don't know. I feel like the politics nowadays would facilitate that
See,
easier.
but I think also too, America has this weird streak of just like we really want to win. I think
Patting
no
yourself in
hard,
the back.
no hard, and this is not even like a weird political thing. Like as sports, everything we just want to win, and I think
True enough.
it would look weird. But I think if it doesn't go to someone like Quentin Tarantino, the Best Picture doesn't go to that person. If it goes to 1917, Sam Mendes isn't going to win Best Director. They're going to give it to Tarantino and Bong Joon-ho, either or Scorsese, and it's going to be a lifetime achievement essentially, which is kind of what it was for Guillermo del Toro. Like Guillermo del Toro,
That's very true.
he won Best Picture, but like really, it was just because that was like I think the vote got split. And I think that's what's gonna end up happening. You know, I
You know
think
what's funny about that too is
Yeah.
you're talking about the same scenario between like, okay, Quentin Tarantino is a lifetime achievement versus Bong Joon-ho, who made a really, really dang good movie, but it's also foreign. That's exactly what happened between Guillermo del Toro and Alfonso Cuarón for Roma. That was the same year. Or no,
was Guillermo. It was
am I
Alfonso
remember that wrong?
Cuarón and who else was that during that
Hold
time?
on,
Was it?
I have this. Um, no, sorry, that was when Green Book won that Roma was nominated. Sorry. With The Shape of Water, really it would have been between Guillermo del Toro and like Peter Spears for Call Me by Your Name or
Mhm.
Scott Rudin for Lady Bird or Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird.
And well, wasn't Dunkirk also that time, or was that with Roma?
Yeah, Dunkirk was with Shape of Water.
Yeah. So I mean, Dunkirk was another one of those where like
Yeah, Three Billboards was one that
Three
everybody thought was
Billboards was another one. So it's kind
yeah,
of like
that was the same year.
yeah, which Three Billboards I
Same,
didn't really
it's
love,
like the same
but
idea.
yeah.
No,
So
yeah,
I think
neither,
that's the
neither
same
did I.
deal.
Fair enough.
But do you
I
know?
think if
Yeah.
oh go
Sorry,
ahead.
Three Billboards is based off a real case.
Yeah, I heard about that. Still doesn't make the movie any better for me.
Yeah, me too.
I really was not
The
intrigued
actual
by it.
case is way more interesting.
Oh yeah. If I were to pick for director this year, um, I don't think they'll give it to Martin Scorsese. I think they've given him enough.
Mhm.
And the movies that are against him, the people that are against him are good enough to warrant that type of thinking. I
Unfortunately,
think
yeah.
they'll give it to Quentin Tarantino because I think they're going to give 1917 Sam Mendes picture. I think they'll give it to Tarantino,
hmm
and I would love them to give it to Parasite, Bong Joon-ho, but um, I would also have liked them to nominate Josh and Benny Safdie for Uncut Gems.
Yep.
Again, just
Agreed.
circling back 3 movies that I talk about. I would much rather that movie be nominated and won for Best Director because they're incredible directors. If you watch that or Good Time, oh my God,
Have you watched
their
their
style
short film,
is so good. No, I
Goldman
haven't.
vs
I've been
Silverman?
meaning to watch. No, I haven't seen it. I've been meaning to watch Daddy Long Leg. There's another movie that they do, addiction, drug addiction, which is supposedly really good.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I would say for director. I think that's enough about the Oscars, though.
Yeah, I mean,
Talked about that
honestly,
for like
I
the
don't
past
even
30
think I'm gonna
minutes.
watch it. That's the bad thing, because like
No,
I
yeah,
just
I
don't.
guarantee almost none of us will watch it.
I will.
You're gonna watch it?
I got a watch
Are
party.
you gonna
Oh,
watch
fun.
party?
That's
That's
fun.
tight.
Me and some
I'll
friends have a
keep
watch
up with it
party.
online
So
while I'm doing things, but I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah.
God,
If
I'm gonna sit there with
Bong
that.
Joon-ho wins anything, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I'm just gonna scream.
Yeah,
But like,
exactly.
because I'm a fanboy of
The
him
Oscars.
now.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think also too, like, I don't know. I don't know what I was gonna say.
Yeah, fine.
It's a podcast, and I don't know what to
What
say.
was next? What was next on the agenda?
Oh, it was gonna be stories.
I'll talk about
stories?
something if you want.
We gotta do a podcast
So,
Yeah,
thing.
Podcasting.
so big news this week. I woke up earlier this weekend, or this week, I guess, to a new Star Wars: The Clone Wars
Oh my
trailer,
gosh.
and it
True,
makes
yeah.
my heart so incredibly happy.
It was funny.
I just talk. I think I've mentioned this before,
Mm.
but like, this show has been running since I think like 2008,
Oh yeah.
which is absolutely insane. And like I was saying, like I was telling like people like we used to like in 4th grade had like watch parties for like the season premiere and like finale and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So like it's like to see it just like come full
It's funny
circle.
that
It's really
that
cool.
show came out at a good time for you. We're only 2 years apart, but I think I missed that train. And the first 2 seasons too are
I'm
like
with you.
supposedly super.
The first 2
childish.
seasons are not. They're very childish.
and
It
I
doesn't-
only
like
watched those two.
I'm doing a rewatch of it right
you really?
now. Yeah, and I literally started on season 3 because I was like, I started watching seasons 1 and 2, and I'm like, first of all, I've watched these episodes like literally I could tell you what happens like in each episode, anyways, and like so I started on season 3, and it's been really good.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it looked like cool, but also I just don't have any personal stake in it, which is kind of sad. Are you folding your laundry right now?
No, I had to change into a white T-shirt because I have to do formal wear tonight for my frat thing.
Oh shit. How long do you have right now?
I have an hour.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we got
We'll
time.
take
I
it.
just
Like,
wanted to
yeah.
put it on because I know I'm gonna like rush to put everything on. You know? So I just
Fair
put it
enough.
on my T-shirt now. Sorry. Yeah, no, I mean,
Clone Wars looks cool, but yeah. So
I'm in the same.
I just thought that's
Same
something I
boat.
should share because I
yeah,
think it's
no, cool, man.
cool.
And I wish.
What do you like?
I wish I got more into
What?
it. I wish I could, because I like the extended universe of Star Wars. I like, as
Yeah.
much as that's silly saying that kind of out loud sometimes.
No, but it's like,
But, like,
cool fiction.
Yeah, it's a cool little mythology they got going on, but like, I don't know,
It
man.
just stinks that they took it out of canon. So
Is
No,
it
it
canon?
is
well,
canon.
no, Clone Wars is canon. Clone Wars is canon. but,
Clone
like,
Wars
the rest
is, yeah.
of the EU is gone.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just Clone Wars and Rebels. Even the Force Unleashed is not canon anymore.
Damn, really?
That was a while
Yeah.
ago.
Mhm.
The what of?
Clone Wars looks neat. There was another trailer that came out recently. I can't remember what it was. Nothing has really like
Jellicle
spiked
cats.
my interest very much. So
Have you guys watched
Wait.
Cats?
no.
You guys want to watch Cats?
We should
Oh my
watch
God.
Cats, and we should do a commentary track as our next episode.
We should do it.
I would.
That's what
Yeah,
we
I'd be
should
very
do.
much down to
Oh
that.
my god!
Cats
Did you hear
streaming
the? This
2019.
is such old news, but like, I can't believe that they had to take the movie out of theaters. Because some of the fur didn't render correctly.
Have you seen the fucking hands? I'm sorry. I shouldn't just use a hard F word like that. This is a PG. But have you seen some of the
Yeah,
freaking
keep it
hands?
No, I literally haven't seen any of it. I really don't care to.
They're so bad.
A friend
Just
of mine.
look
a
at the
friend of mine
hands.
went and
Just
saw,
go and watch the trailer and look at the hands.
You're gonna have to screen share it because I don't want to. A friend of mine went and saw it,
real quick.
but they went and saw it after a movie they paid for, and they just walked in, and they were there for 15 minutes, and they said even the people who were there to freaking like pay for the movie and see it were laughing their asses off.
Really?
At every dramatic scene.
It
Yeah,
but,
it's just a
like,
joke all around. It's a total joke.
There we go. You just gotta.
It's because you're also using your phone.
Yeah, because
It's fine. You
can
don't
you
have
see
to
me?
share the screen. You don't have to screen share. Yeah, we
Do
can.
you see this shit? Do you see how human that hand looks?
Yeah, real
Also, like
human.
weird. Also, like, I'm just dumbfounded they made this.
Yeah, it's
Look at-
ridiculous. Did you hear that they took it off of Oscar nominations or Oscar consideration
why?
themselves?
Why?
I don't, because they knew it was so bad. They just took it off of
But
nominations.
when has that
themselves.
ever stopped
considered.
anything? No offense. Like, I know that's like weird to say, but like, who the? I kind of don't think the Oscars.
Who thought about
sacred.
making it?
Who would have thought about
yeah,
making it
I-
in general? Because like, Cats is like the.
Because
Have you
nobody
watched
liked
the
it when
musical?
it was on stage. No, no.
Oh
no,
my god!
don't
I watched
ever
the
plan
musical
to.
when I was like in second grade, and I'm scarred. This shit was crazy. It was just like they did start doing that Angelical Cats and I'm gonna sing like, that's good, but like Deuteronomy disappeared. I have no idea what
I actually
goes
don't know
on.
the song.
Jesus.
Dude, like, yeah, Deuteronomy like disappears, and then they're like, we have to bring him back. And do you know how they bring him back? They get a magician cat
Oh.
named Magical Mr. Mistopheles, and he shows
Isn't
up
that
and he does
Jason
some,
Derulo?
yeah, Jason Derulo. Jason
No. Or is that the
Derulo.
other guy? Who's the
I don't
other?
know who it is.
Um,
James, it's not James Corden.
Oh, who's the other guy?
Jason Derulo.
No.
I can't believe
Idris Elba. Is that
Idris
his name?
Elba?
What is his name?
He's in that movie.
Yeah.
Have I been
God.
sharing my
I
screen
think that's
the whole
him.
time?
Hold on, let me check. Let me check real quick.
Hey, I see our screen now.
Hey,
Figured it out.
I got it.
Now I don't. Now it's from your phone
Oh,
again.
never mind.
That's all right.
That's weird.
Yes, he's the
Idris Elba?
he's the magic. Idris Elba is the magic cat. I don't know what Jason Derulo is in that
He's
movie.
just Jason Derulo.
but it can't
He's
be.
got to just be Jason
He's
Derulo.
just Jason.
He like
He's
literally they
just
had
Jason
to have written
Derulo.
him into the movie, otherwise he wouldn't do
Who
it.
is Taylor Swift in the movie? I don't know. I heard she's in
She
it.
is in it.
Who cares?
Yeah, that's the. But like the.
I don't know.
I just remember very vividly Mistopheles just doing like 6 pirouettes, and he's like, whoosh, 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 and he starts to whipping. He's whipping it,
Cast?
and then he just like does this thing with his literal, like, you know, those like typical magic cane, and like does this thing, and like
with the white ends.
the white end, and then the guy who they've been looking for the whole time just appears. And if that was how you got him back, do that in the first 5 minutes of the play and let me go home. It's so
You know what's
dumb.
crazy about this movie? The craziest thing about this movie is the cast. Like, we've been saying
It's
these
a great
names as if,
cast.
like, it's regular. As if it's fun. No, it's not a good cast. Are you kidding me? We've been saying these names as if they're understandable.
Marketably, it is a
The
good
last
cast.
movie-
It seems
the last
like
movie-
it's like, oh, a lot of famous people. But it's not people you would expect to be good in a movie. Like, okay, Taylor Swift, James Corden, Jason Derulo.
I think the last movie James Corden did was like the Emoji
yeah, I'm
movie.
90% sure that you're correct.
Hey.
Like I'm almost like
hey,
100% sure that's correct.
Year, right?
Yeah, snub for the Razzies.
Snubbed right. It's that was
Oh my gosh.
I think the cat should be nominated to like a Streamy Award because I think that's what it deserves. Or what's
Yeah,
another
for
one of
Taylor
those
Swift
YouTube
Vivo.
award
For
shows?
Taylor Swift Vivo.
Yes. Yes.
I can't believe that movie got made, man. What's wrong with our economy that the money that we have in this country we go to that kind of project?
Dude, I don't know. Like, I
knows?
sort of kind of like maybe this might be overstepped. This might be too hot of a take here, but perhaps
Yeah.
we should hold on. Let me check that I'm not going to be late to this thing. Perhaps we should like.
Cats is good. Make a case. Go.
Cats is good. Make a case, but perhaps we should.
Perhaps.
Yeah,
we should
welcome to Make a Case on
We
season
should-
2.
Yeah, season 2.
Andrew's gonna tell us why Cats is good.
That's
and
right.
why
First
you
of
should
all,
see it.
furry
Alright.
titties.
Welcome.
Second of all, furry assholes. What if they had actual cat assholes instead of fake assholes?
Oh my
Case ended.
God.
Approved.
Approved.
Your case has been
No, but, like,
Have you
denied.
guys ever?
Never again.
This is gonna be weird. Have you guys ever talked to your parents about furries?
No,
Just mention that they
no.
No,
You've never
I've not.
really-
You talked about
There
this on
was
the
one
pod
time-
before. How you told your dad about it?
I was just talking. Yeah, I did I say this already?
Yeah, you already said this on pod.
I think
I
I
have
might
no
have said this
idea.
in a previous episode.
Mhm.
But there was one time I was just in
Whatever,
the,
it's new
I was just
season.
in the kitchen. I was showing my mom and dad that video where the kid goes, I don't know, levels except physical. I am a wolf. And I was just showing him that video. And my dad was like, what is he doing? And I was like, oh, he's a furry. And he was like, a what? I was like, he like identifies with dogs, I guess, and that's what he feels like he is on the inside. My dad was just like, that's not a real thing. It's like, well, you're right, but also like, go wait, hold on, they're real, they're right there.
I gotta-
It was just very awkward.
I gotta shout out the furry community real quick though, because like, no, because did you hear about
Nah,
that
man.
group of furries that attacked that dude?
What?
Yeah, dog.
That sounds
so-
horrifying.
No, it's actually a good thing. So these furries were at like a furry con, and they were like all hanging out or whatever, doing their furry thing in a
Yeah.
hotel room, which is like, hey, it's fucking weird. But you know, you're in a private space. Do what you want. I don't care.
Okay,
this
sure.
dude-
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but this dude went out in his furry costume to go get a cigarette. He went and got a
ciggy,
got
eh?
a ciggy, he went, ripped some darts, and he was like hanging outside the hotel, and this car pulled up, and he.
How many cigarettes have you got, lad? Sorry, go ahead.
That's gonna destroy my audio. But like, but this guy, this car pulled up, and the windows were open. He heard the lady scream, "Get out! Get out of my car! Get out of my car!" And then he heard her scream more, and this dude who was in her car was like beating her up, right? Which is not right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna come out and say that.
Yeah,
Abuse
that's,
is not
pretty
cool.
Awful.
And
I'm
furry
sorry I
guy.
laughed at that. I was just laughing at thinking of like two furries just smacking each other with the giant ass paws.
No,
in their
that is funny
costumes.
though. That is funny.
I wasn't laughing at domestic
Um,
abuse. I was just laughing at that.
But the guy was like, the guy who was in the fur costume was like, "Oh, this is not fucking happening right now." And he called
Okay,
up his
yeah.
furry buddies, and they ran down and they fucking got the guy out of the
His
car.
furry buddy.
And they all like, the guy tried to square up on him, and they all just like beat him down and
That's
like
awesome.
held him down
That's
and got him
awesome.
arrested.
Good for them.
Which is like, hell yeah, dude. Like, all right,
Good
like,
for
you know
them.
what?
I bet you.
Applause.
Round of
think-
enter
applause
do you
applause.
think
for the
furries-
furry community.
You know the national
everyone.
anthem of like furry culture has to be something from The Lion King, right?
Oh, I was
Like,
thinking.
I
it
bet
was
you those
gonna be,
guys.
like,
I bet you those
that-
guys ran up to this dude and were like,
We shall never surrender.
What the fuck? Why is that? What is
What
that?
is that? What is
It's a
that?
video of real Ted Cruz screaming "We shall never surrender" in like the middle of the speech, and he thought it was gonna be funny, and nobody laughed. But somebody put the Lion King to it.
How is Ted Cruz alive, dude?
I don't know. He's so weird.
What is he?
He's kind of funny though.
Do you know he's a good basketball player?
Yeah, he beat Jimmy Kimmel on a one-on-one.
Also, like,
Yeah,
the
that says a
pickup
lot.
game between Ted Cruz and Barack Obama would be cool. Politics aside, that'd be cool, right? That'd be a good pickup
Yeah,
game because it'd be like all outside shooters versus all like people who, because Obama goes hard in the fucking paint, so like it'd be all like
Yeah.
big men versus outside shooters. That'd be tight.
I like all these like celebrity sports matches or whatever that happen.
Oh,
like,
dude,
you
yeah.
feel like you should watch, and sometimes you feel like you're like more interested to watch them than actual professional athletes who are good at the game. Like do you remember when they played the Celebrity All-Star game and Justin Bieber played?
And Macklemore was there. Yeah, it was in Cincinnati. Yeah, and Macklemore was there. Snoop Dogg was there.
The NBA. Or like there was something that came up recently. Oh, how about the fact that Antonio Brown is gonna box Logan Paul? Which, by the way, we're talking about the continuity of this podcast.
Let's just talk about Antonio Brown for a hot second.
Our longtime listeners will remember that we had a string of
Antonio
stories about Antonio Brown. The first of which was about him getting picked up for the Patriots, and then they dropped him.
Oh, we can talk about his downfall now.
How he went to a doctor's appointment and farted in the doctor's face and got sued.
Good.
It's episode 4.
Did you see he got arrested?
It's episode 4.
He got arrested.
Talking about Antonio Brown again. We're full circle. No biggie.
Did you see they have a warrant out for his
serious?
arrest and he turned himself in?
Why? Why did he get arrested?
Did you not hear about
this?
this?
I heard about the Logan Paul boxing match.
There was a dispute.
Yeah.
There was a dispute with his previous apartment owner, whatever.
Okay. He was a
where they where he threw like furniture out like a 14-story window.
Just pulling a Jake
And
Paul.
So he does. So like it kind of escalates, and so he has like his moving thing. 'Cause he's like, you got to get out of here. So they end up Antonio Brown and his gang. End up, I don't know what happened, but like they kind of like run him out of there, like throwing rocks at like the moving truck window and stuff, and like,
my gosh,
like beating him up. So they get a warrant for him for like a felony like charge on like battery and like burglary, and he's now like he's like done. His agent cut ties with him.
Never gonna play again.
I mean, yeah, because he didn't have a team. Like that's the thing.
Oh
I think if he had a team, he would have been like fine. Because remember when Ray Rice like on video beat up that lady, and everyone was like, "Yeah, it's cool." Like,
yeah. Well, here's what's crazy.
It happened with Kareem Hunt as well. Yeah. Kareem Hunt got off a little.
ESPN.
He got 8
ESPN has a story that came out. What's today? 2 days ago on the 24th. Antonio Brown released.
I think that's when he turned himself in.
No, it says he's released after posting a $110K bond.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was what his his bond
He's going to pay for a whole music program at school.
Felony burglary and battery charge. Total bond for 3 charges stemming from an alleged assault of a moving truck driver earlier this week is $110,000. Oh my! Brown will be monitored by GPS and required to release his passport and guns, go through drugs and alcohol testing, and get a mental health evaluation. Holy cow!
He is fallen. This is a long time podcast topic, but we have witnessed the fall of Antonio Brown.
The rise and fall.
I mean,
oh my gosh.
I mean, I'm not like. I mean, I don't know. I don't really care about Antonio Brown.
He was a
like,
good
if he
player.
Doesn't, he's had multiple times where he could have gotten help, but his ego and everything. He's kind of brought this upon himself. So I'm not going to say anything else on the topic.
Come on, he's a jackass.
Yes.
I just that's hilarious. It's just really funny how they specify he'll be monitored by GPS and required to release his passport and guns.
And guns.
Oh, right, of course.
Oh yeah. It's kind of shocking that he has shit like. Oh no.
Well, also that's why at the end of that they say he has to have a mental health evaluation. I bet you they might take away his gun license. That would be interesting because he's a felon. He's a felon now. That man's a felon. He used to be the biggest prospect in the NFL. Like, what, 5 months ago?
Yeah, dude.
And then he went on Twitter and he pulled.
Like, I mean, a year ago, he was
when he was first drafted.
if not He was top. He was top
Uh-huh.
3.
And then he
We
went on
go
Twitter.
to
and was an
maybe
idiot.
like a year and a half ago. He goes from being a top 3 wide receiver to being completely out of the league and like a criminal
Yeah,
now.
a felon. Oh my
Um,
God, what an idiot.
Now, a lot of things in the future that we'll see and will come from, I'm sure, way past this podcast lifetime. Is this him, or is this a product of CTE? Which, if you've watched the
Which I have,
Aaron Hernandez
yeah.
documentary on
What's
Netflix,
CTE?
CTE is like a concussion syndrome.
Oh, interesting.
Like symptom. It's CTE is like
It's when your
concussions and like brain
keeps
damage
hitting the top
from
of your head.
concussions.
Or the top of your
Oh,
head.
wow.
Your skull, I mean. Inside your skull.
Yeah. Yeah, the underside of your skull. Yikes, I didn't even know that was
Mhm.
like a thing with him. That's so
Yeah, dude.
unfortunate.
I mean, the NFL did
It
until,
might
like,
not
10
be,
years
but
ago.
it
know
is a
what?
good
This-
argument. You don't really know that until like someone passes
Mm-hmm.
away and they get an autopsy or something, or you may never.
Well, I mean,
even
that
know.
one guy
regardless
who
of-
killed himself, he played for the New England Patriots, Sonny, what's his name?
Yeah, Aaron
Not
Hernandez.
Aaron Hernandez.
Aaron
No,
Hernandez?
Sonny,
Who?
Sonny Ray?
not Sonny Ray.
I know who you're talking about. I don't. What's his name? I don't remember.
I'm going to look it up right. Sonny, not Jurgensen. Huh. I don't
I
know.
was going to say, it was like Sonny Ray is an actor who was in all of the...
But he killed himself, and he put in his suicide note,
Oh my gosh.
like, study my brain. And they did, and he had
Wow.
CTE. And it's like, that's the thing. You know.
Wow.
Was this Sonny Pike?
I have no idea.
No, he's a
Probably
he's a
Google it.
footballer. He's not a football player.
So unfortunate.
But yeah, no, I mean that's the thing, and I think, and that's why I really don't like the NFL is because they I mean if they sort of knew about this type of stuff, they really didn't do anything for it, and
Yeah.
I mean and that's the reason why I don't really watch it because it's like well these guys are
Oh,
just
really?
like dying basically they're just and it's more than just like oh they're putting their bodies on the line like they're getting really really hurt. And they mentioned it again in the Aaron Hernandez documentary, how much drugs, how much painkillers they have to take, and how much of a toll that takes on your liver, too, not to mention. You know, it's really not like in any other sport, even in rugby, even in things like that, because...
I mean, there's like mixed martial arts and boxing that'll
true.
screw you up way worse. But that's just because the nature of the sport itself
Right.
is about...
But that's,
how
yeah,
hard
that's
you can hit the other
combat
person or,
sports.
like-
And that's not even
Yeah,
that...
exactly. This isn't
Well,
like... This
yeah.
is contact, but,
Mhm.
you know...
And MMA, I
That's
don't even
crazy.
think really has that big of problems because you don't get hit repeatedly. Like, how many fights does an MMA fighter really fight in comparison to how many games does a
Yeah, no. Maybe like 4 matches a year. or
4
something
matches
like
a
that.
year? Yeah,
I can't remember.
but like every week you're getting. I mean, especially if you're a lineman or you're a linebacker, you know, or a receiver or anything like that. Every week you're getting fucking smacked by big dudes too, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. And in boxing is a little bit different
Yeah.
because of the glove situation, but
Yeah, it depends on what ounces you're carrying. If the lighter the gloves, the harder your fist is going to hit against them.
right,
The heavier the gloves, the more cushioning supposedly you have. But also, you know, there's more force, but it's not as much of a bone on bone. I really like MMA. I mean MMA, yeah, they only have like 3 fights a year.
Mhm.
And with NFL, you're doing it every single week, and you're getting hit in the head, even though you got these helmets that are supposedly amazing.
Mhm.
And yeah, they probably do much better than if you were like bareheaded, but at the same time, like, how much does it really do for you?
right.
It's so sad. It's so sad. And like,
Mm.
even you see boxers like Muhammad Ali come out and he's.
Well, he had
it's
Parkinson,
more-
but that's different.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that's all also like brain damage.
Yeah,
So
true. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That could. You're right. It could have an effect.
yeah, it's just so sad.
Yeah.
Did you? Oh, speaking of MMA though, did you see that Conor McGregor came back?
Yeah, I
For a
watched that
fight?
fight.
What was it
McGregor
after like a year and a
Cowboy.
half, 2 years?
Yep.
Hey, he came back and
Good thing I did not. Pay
yeah.
for that.
No, I went. Yeah, I
glad-
didn't
What's
either.
the guy's name? Cowboy Corone. 40 seconds.
Yeah.
40 seconds he pins it. Well, not pins, but he TKOs him in 40. Oh my
He
god.
beats him.
Talk about like
Mhm.
you know what's hilarious though is so Conor McGregor goes into retirement for what, a year and a half, 2 years, I think. Ronda Rousey did the same thing, and when Ronda came back, she got pinned in 40 seconds because all she did in that year and a half was like L'Oreal commercials and didn't train And Conor McGregor loses his first fight ever, loses a second fight, and he's like, okay,
I mean,
I
she
gotta
got
get
the
out of here.
bag. I'm not gonna lie. That's. I'm
Yeah,
not trying
yeah,
to.
she got the bag.
She got the bag.
But at the same
Go ahead.
time, like well, yeah. But at the same time, Conor McGregor comes back. He's been training like every day since he lost that fight because he's like, I can't lose. That's not who I am. I can't lose. And he comes back and he TKOs the man in 40 seconds. And that's how you know. That's how you know the difference between those two fighters. Ronda Rousey was always about herself, and so is Conor McGregor. He's very selfish, like outwardly. That's his persona. But like at the same time, he was so much more committed to the craft than she was. And people have been comparing their comebacks or the lack of them, and I just don't think. I mean, it's like, come on, it's so easy to see why one of them succeeded and the other didn't. Ronda Rousey didn't care. She came back and trained for like 2 months before the fight because she was like, yeah, I could probably do it. Conor McGregor was like, nah, man, I can never lose again. The man's incredible.
Well, the funny thing,
incredible.
too, about that is, sorry, I just like some. The funny thing about that whole situation, personally, is that I went to a bar and watched it. Here in Cleveland, and there was like everyone was kind of rooting for Cowboy because like I said, and I think this goes back to Americans want to win everything, man. And like Cowboy's like the most American guy. Like he's literally a cowboy. Yeah. That's America right there. That's our samurai. Yeah. And he's like, hell yeah. And everyone was pumped. Yeah. But there was like 5 dudes who like cosplayed to go watch this fight. There was like 4 or 5 dudes who were dressed up as cowboys to watch this fight. And of course, I'm pulling for McGregor because I want to be contrarian. And also too, my friend had betted on, I just like McGregor more. And McGregor beats him in like 40 seconds, and it's just me and my friend. The bar is silent, and it's a big bar too. And it's like just me and my one friend Joe. We're just like, yeah. We're like, ah. And then like I turned around and looked at all the cowboy people who were at the bar, and they're like shaking their heads at me. I was like, why'd you cosplay for this fight, dude? I'm like, also, who cosplays for sports, you weirdo?
Well, you want to know what's super cool about this fight is
technically, if you're wearing a jersey, that's technically a cosplay.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Tell that to the nerds. No, but Conor McGregor is the first. He's the first champion to be. He's the first person to be champion in feather, light, and heavyweight.
Yeah, he's great. He's
been in all 3 classes. He's been in all 3 classes, and with this win, he's been the first MMA fighter to win in all 3.
Man, that's
super cool to me.
That's the thing, man. Ireland is a weird place. Like they I mean, no, seriously, like they have like the weirdest, like strangest things come out of that place, man. And it's good things and bad things, you know? Like there's the you know, like Ireland like basically saved Western culture by saving a lot of the biblical stuff and a lot of these records that the Library of Alexander, when the Library of Alexandria got burnt. But also like it's just like they have this weird capacity to be both like these like kind of silly people, like a lot of these city names are named like Kilkenny literally just means Kenny's church, or like in Gaelic, or like Two Bridges. They're like, why do we name it Two Bridges? Because there's 2 bridges. But they're also like have the most Nobel laureates out of any country, so for literature. So it's it's such a it's so funny to see like this small little island just does a bunch of crazy stuff, and it's so funny. And Conor McGregor is who, if I was athletic, I would probably have been Conor McGregor. Like, because have you seen that video of him on the motorcycle outside of Las Vegas where he's like, someone's like, do you support Manchester United? He's like, no. He's like, I'm a Liverpool fan, up the Reds. And then he pops a wheelie and just speeds away. If that's not the thing I want to be, I don't know what I want to be. But yeah.
Oh, I also, just to correct myself, I misspoke. He's the first fighter ever to have first-round knockouts in lightweight, featherweight, and welterweight.
Oh, welterweight.
Yeah. That's so cool. I would love to see Conor McGregor fight John Jones. Yeah, John Jones he's like, it's all for him. It's all about his wingspan. His reach is like, I think it's like I don't know. It's something like much longer than most fighters, but he's like a really good fighter, and I think that's the only person Conor would have problem fighting against.
I don't know. If he fights Khabib again,
I would love to see him fight Khabib
that's true.
again.
That's true.
I mean,
that'd be he's a monster.
I think that's where it's going.
You think there's going to be a rematch?
I think that's where Dana White wants to take
Yeah,
it.
I would see that.
It just depends if
Or Joe
McGregor wants to
Rogan.
do it.
I don't know.
I
I didn't mean him fighting Joe Rogan. I just like maybe Joe Rogan. That's where he
Oh my
wants
God.
to. I forget Joe Rogan is like
Oh.
a trillionaire because of the MMA.
Yeah.
Because of MMA.
Yeah, he literally I was watching the highlights of Connor's win, and afterwards Joe Rogan comes up with a microphone to interview him after the win. I was like, wait, what? Does this podcast have like a partnership? And I was like, oh, this is his job.
I was gonna say, I literally forget that he has a real job. That isn't just him being like a crazy person.
You ever do DMT?
You ever do DMT?
You know, chimps. Sometimes they do DMT and talk.
Oh, gotta smoke a bunch of weed and go into the weed
Have you ever
deprivation
made
chamber.
people feel a fool?
What was the one we talked about like last time on the podcast when it was like someone was saying some really like deep stuff and
Watch
then he
this
was like,
video
"Oh,
of the
watch
horse
this bus."
hitting,
like
this bus hitting
yeah.
the horse.
It's called Curb Your Entire Being of Joe Rogan or whatever. And it's this video where he's talking with some other guy and he's like, isn't it crazy how we put a price tag on human life itself? And the guy was like, oh. And then they paused for like 2 seconds. He goes, you ever seen that video of that guy hit that moose? He's like, no. It's like, oh, Jamie, pull that up. And literally it's just a video of this guy on the side of a highway showing how a truck literally runs straight into a moose and it flies into the air. And Joe Rogan just busts out laughing. And the other guy's like dumbfounded. He's like, oh my God. like from one step to the next. Oh, it's so funny.
That's the thing. Like, I criticize Joe Rogan a lot. And I think there's valid criticisms of him. I'm not gonna lie, but I also am really jealous of him because, like, that's kind of just what I want to do, right?
Just talk on a podcast, smoke weed.
I mean, not
Go talk to
not
fighters
the
afterwards,
illegal.
not have to
Well,
fight
he
yourself.
lives in California, so that's not illegal. But like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like chill out and like interview interesting people. Like, cause like this is the thing. Like, his people he gets are great. He's like Howard Stern, but Howard Stern without the work ethic. Like, you know what I mean?
Wow.
I mean, hot
I
takes.
do not like Howard Stern. I think he's so annoying.
I agree.
I think he's all show. How are we doing on time, Andrew?
I think we're at 6:22, so I think we should wrap up soon.
Okay, that's fine.
I think
Yeah, we
we
can
have-
wrap.
I have about 2 hours of audio, so.
Oh yeah, so do I. I have about 150. 20 the 10.
Yeah, that's
10
what
or
I
15,
have.
That is great.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
We want to wrap up with a fun story. Or do we want to wrap it up?
I mean, that was my story about
Wrap it up.
the cowboy
Okay.
cosplayers, really.
Yeah.
I got.
That's fine.
Really.
I have something we can save it for next time too, because it'll take a little while.
Okay.
All right, let's do an outro, shall we?
Oh, I almost got in a fight. That's what my
Yeah,
story.
you want to play us
I'll
out,
play
Luke?
it, I'll play it.
You want to play us out, Luke? You can play, and I'll do the outro, and you play. How about that? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. As we close this inaugural episode of season 2 of the Peaked in High School podcast. It has been a pleasure to take you on this journey. Hopefully this episode will be up soon and not in a year. But we had some fun. We had some great laughs. We had some deep talk, but I'm glad that you could be with us all the way. My name has been JT, and Luke's playing us out, and Andrew's just vibing over there. This has been Peaked in High School podcast, and we'll see you next time.
That was awesome. All right, I'm gonna stop recording now.
I love that bit. Okay, stop recording right now.
The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
I just hit my head so hard that I'm sure I got a concussion, but I was still in the hospital. And everyone was tripping. Everyone was really surprised that I wanted to get up in there.
And I caught my kids smoking weed. First I would make sure that it wasn't my fucking weed.